I'm here. Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. What's up, gamers? What's up, Cosmo? Yeah, chat is broken, though. YouTube did something this past week and they fucked it up. What's up, gamers? Yeah, I was talking to you guys the whole time. You just couldn't hear me because fucking I had the mute on. Shout Mio? Mio! Oh, shut you up. Cosmo! Zoom is giving me this look like dad. What the literal fuck? Precision. What's going on, Precision? Eighth stream in a row? Who? Maybe. Could be. It's hard to tell now with my schedule all messed up who's in here on a regular every day. I was live for a long time yesterday. Excuse me. A long time yesterday. Let's see. I'm gonna look at it. So we got one live stream was 6 hours, 14 minutes, and 41 seconds. And one live stream was 7 hours, 25 minutes, and 30 seconds. So we were live yesterday for like 13 hours and 45 minutes. Thank you, Cosmo. What the hell, what? What's up, gamers? Yeah, I was. Yesterday was a long live stream. I had to make up for all the time I didn't get to put in over the last couple days. Because if I'm looking here, before that, I only had an hour. And then I had 18 minutes. And then an hour 45 minutes. An hour 2, 50 minutes. And then looks like 4 days ago I actually had a proper 2 hour live stream. But over the last like 3 or 4 days, my live streams have been so short and sporadic. Bye, gamers. Thanks for stopping by. You have a great Friday. Later. Maybe we'll see you. Maybe we'll see you later. It's just a pain in the butt today, huh? Thank you, Deborah. I don't think so. You guys should be able to see me, hear me, I should say. You have a Great Dane? They're so big. Great Danes are so big. Holy moly. Oh, bastard. The coffee's like that watering machine. Oh, yeah, I went mute. Well, there was nobody in chat saying anything, so I didn't say anything. That's simple. I was going to do a remote studio push, but I didn't get up in time. Thank you for coming in and chatting. Oh, no worries. I don't mind calling you by your pseudonym. Also, I feel like if I were to shout you out. Thank you, Deborah. You too. Yeah, if I were to shout you out with your real name, then I would be. It would feel kind of like wrestling superstars, you know? I love the beach is back. I love the beach. What's up? I'm going to Deborah's channel. I'm gonna subscribe to them because I chatted and it didn't look like I'd been there before. I'm pretty sure I've been to I Love the Beach. No, I haven't. Well, I've subscribed to you. I Love the Beach. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for chatting. Cosmo. If you scroll back, there's a message that got held. I'm gonna push it through, but I want to explain to you why it got held. It's because of your misspelling. You said I have the world's nicest dog. It's an Irish Greyhound. But you spelled nicest Niggest. So it flagged it thinking it's a racial slur. Gotta be careful with your spelling. Letty's just creeping off camera. Creeping a little bit. Oh, biggest. Gotcha. Okay, okay. So you just mistyped biggest. Yeah, it flagged it because it thought it was a racial slur. I'm not going to pronounce the word because that would defeat the purpose of pointing out that it's not a racial slur. Dance with my beanie. What's up? Thanks for stopping in and chatting. I'll head over to your channel and give you a subscribe. Q Chillin'? I don't know who Q Chillin' is. Annie's hiding off to the side. She was on the couch. They all were. Coachella? Is it like Coachella? French cruller? Is it a donut? What sound does the U with the tilde on it make? And what language is it supposed to be? I speak English. I speak the English. Oh, this coffee is hot and angry. It wants to jump and bite me. Cool. Cucullin. It looks like Cuchellin. Is that an Irish boy's name? There you go, Zumo. Yeah. Zuma needs 20 more subscribers and then she can go live. You just wink at us. Yeah, you're such a cutie. Let's see. Bernello? No. Here's the girly. I think I was overthinking that pronunciation is why I fucked it up. Tierna, no? No. Tierna, no. What language is that? Alright, well, that explains it. Irish. Would you stop it, Kins? You're being grumpy over nothing. You're so moody. She's on her period. I think that's why she's so moody. Is that why you're moody?
It is now officially noon.
It is now officially noon. If you are on your lunch break, thanks for stopping in. Yeah. She's not fixed. And she's in heat, I'm assuming. Because she's acting all strange. She's super cuddly, more than usual. And she's been dripping blood all over the floor. But that's a dog thing. That's what dogs do. Alternatively, we could get her a diaper. If it was that bad. Oh, goodness. TMI. TMI. Take her. Y'all can be moody together. I don't want nothing to do with that monthly monster. Y'all can have her. Well, you'd think boy life was easy. My son, he'll make you wonder how boys have problems. He gets problems over the dumbest shit all the time. Good afternoon from the UK. Yeah, it didn't work out today, Aaron. I was gonna push remote, and then I woke up and it was already 11:15. So here we are. I made my phone calls, I made a cup of coffee, I drank the coffee, and then I laid down and fell back asleep. Sweet. I'm just telling when it comes to technology, the ocean is just a tiny little pond. I don't know if I'd say poor Annie. Maybe poor you. She doesn't seem affected by it at all. Except for extra crotch licking and extra cuddliness and extra moodiness. Other than that, she hasn't changed a bit. It's not. That's not how mod works. And and so besides the fact that that's just not how it works, in order to even be considered, you've got to be here every day for 2 weeks straight, the whole time. So if I were to go live at 11 o'clock and then end the live stream at 1 for 14 days in a row, I would expect you to be here to even put your name in the hat. With great power comes great responsibility. It's an adulting word. So, to even be considered for the role, you would have to be here every day for 2 weeks. Now, Aaron doesn't want to be, Space Nut there doesn't even want to be blue. He's got permissions by default because he runs my remote studio. When we do remote studio things, and he's helping me with the studio side of things. And in order for him to be able to do the remote studio, he had to have permissions, and by default, they made him blue. And then the other people that are blue have the wrench. They are blue because I have known them either through live streaming for 6 months or more, or I know them in person. So it's a little bit more than just deciding to do it. Wanting to do it and putting it into practice. Different things. Seen a lot of that these days too. People popping into random live streams asking to be a mod. Typically, the rule of thumb is that if you ask for it, you shouldn't get it. The people who deserve the role typically don't ask for it. That is not an acceptable way. Yeah, are you listening, YouTube? Are you listening? Don't give us another shitty update, but if you're listening, YouTube, we want the studio managers to be able to blend in. They don't want to stand out like moderators in the chat. Maybe give them a gear instead of a wrench to indicate that they're something important to the live stream. But precision, that's... Yeah, they listen to Cosmo talk about the VIP system. Yeah. Who knows? But precision, that's not a positive vibe. That one statement. The one that got deleted. You know which one I'm talking about. So many people have been demonetized. Being demonetized is pretty easy to do. Actually, once you're monetized, there's very strict rules about what you are and aren't allowed to do in order to stay monetized. We're getting there. We're getting there. There are pretty strict rules though, right, Aaron? Like there are things you're not allowed to do while you're monetized, or they will hold the monetize. Um, so, like for instance, it's the same rules that apply to when you're not monetized. Like you can't say explicitly sexual things because you can be demonetized for that. If you play, well, you explained the music thing to me before. Basically, what they say is if this isn't music doesn't belong to you, we're going to give the money to the creator instead of you for that portion of views. What's that the definition for? Awesome. I thought when you said that's awesome at the end of that you were saying this quote was awesome. But I guess literally it is the definition of awesome. Yeah, they limit so many characters. I think it's 120. Cosmo's going off scribbling and wingdings. If somebody asked for your gender, well, I think that would be on a person by person basis. And I don't really, I don't personally find it offensive, although it's weird because I look like a cis male. I am a cis male, so. It can be rude. It can be rude. I think it's less rude because the internet is kind of a anonymous thing. Well, that's irrelevant. Your pronouns and your sexual preference are irrelevant to the internet. At least they're irrelevant to this live stream because gender is irrelevant in this live stream. We don't care what your pronouns are here. We're just the dogs. And preference is irrelevant here because I'm in a committed relationship and I'm not hitting on anybody, so I don't care. If I can choose my pronouns, can I choose my adjectives? No, but you can choose your verbs. You can't choose your adjectives, but you can choose your verbs. Wow, this live stream went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. Time is flying. What do I have a message from? Amazon, a transaction of US dollars, $371.23 to James Thomas was completed successfully. Was it necessary to do that message like 16 times? Just reading through some text messages I've got on my phone here. Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Nicole. I send out my correspondence via text message, so we didn't miss anything. You feel like you're in algebra class? Why's that? I liked math class. I said I liked math class. Math to a certain point is very easy for me. Math to a certain point is very easy. Calculus and pre-calc is where I drew the line at math that was necessary for my life. But yeah, I took algebra honors, algebra 2 honors, geometry honors, finance and money. And in all those things, you get all the regular stuff. But then we started doing trigonometry and pre-calculus, and I didn't like it. So I was like, nah, I'm good. I've got enough credits to do what I need to do. I don't think I'm ever going to need to put geometry and algebra together and start adding sine, cosine, and tangent. Like, wasn't parabolic equations enough? Like, holy hell. But I was good at it. I was really good at it. If you like math and you're good at math, chemistry would be an easy thing for you as well. Despondency. Despondency. Oh. Got the computer nerd autism, not the maths kind. You're funny, Cosmo. I don't have any kind of the autism. I'm not on the spectrum as far as they could tell at all. I did go in for a psychological evaluation. I want to check out if my brain was where it is. Found out I have a decently high IQ, which I knew before I went in there. There's more in-depth tests that would get a more accurate number, but I think my IQ was something like a 118. I think Aaron's saying being on the spectrum is overrated. Or maybe it was the psychological evaluation. They call it a psych eval. They just ask you a bunch of questions, and sometimes they ask you the same question, but a different way, and you're supposed to answer it the same. And it's determined to determine whether or not you have any psychological, mental disabilities. Like if there's anything part of your brain stopping you from being able to function like a normal person. Normal, quotations, normal. What society deems as normal. Because normal in my circle and normal by societal standards are not the same. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not like the other. I accept all kinds in my circle. Society, though, they're a different animal. Boom. No, you be you. You fly that weird flag, Cosmo. You find the thing that you have a special interest in, and you turn it into a career. That's the best advice I can give for somebody who's on the spectrum. Because you have a special interest. My son's mother is on the spectrum, and my son's mother's other son is on the spectrum, so I'm familiar. And the best thing I could, having been around them and been part of the mental health professional field for a little while, What I can say is the best thing for somebody on the spectrum is to find their special interest and make a career out of it, because that's where you're going to excel. Now, my son's mother, her special interest is research. So she did very well in college. You know, when she sees something that she doesn't know enough about, she'll do like this in-depth dive into Google and then just spend hours learning about this new thing on Google. You know, cross-referencing it and re-cross-referencing and cross-referencing cross-references. Sometimes it's kind of irritating because she'll lose track of time. Well, it was. Fifth in Scouts? Like Girl Scouts? And if you're not sure what your special interest is, recall some of the conversations you've had with people where you get really excited about the topic and you're super knowledgeable about that topic. And whenever that topic's brought up, you're the first person to jump in line and want to talk about it. That's your special interest. There you go. Every time rockets get brought up, Space Nuts got to talk about them, right? Got to talk about them. Well, everybody's got a special interest. You don't have to be on the spectrum to have a special interest. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because people on the spectrum tend to have difficulties finding employment. And they tend to have difficulties functioning with other, quote, normal members of society. Some people see it as an evolution, autism. Some people see it as backstepping on the evolutionary scale. Either way, the fact of the matter remains that autistic people, people with autism, people on the spectrum, they have a hard time interacting in most social norms. You love boats, so you have a weird amount of knowledge when it comes to boats, right? You could tell us 60 different kinds of boats, and we've only ever heard of 3 or 4. Then that's your special interest, Cosmo. Maybe go into boat salesman. I think it's an evolution too, Aaron. I absolutely think it's an evolution. In some ways, it retracts from, you know, the social norm, which is the way things have been going for hundreds of years. So that doesn't mean that it's the best thing for us. It just means that that's what's been happening. But I find that people on the spectrum tend to be more intelligent. They tend to use parts of their brain that I didn't even know existed. Your sister has a delusion? Well, delusion and autism are not the same thing, Precision. Delusions are like hallucinations. Delusions are thoughts in your head that you believe to be fact. and that's not always the case. So I'll try to I'm gonna try to avoid talking about the most popular delusional thing in the world right now because it is a touchy subject. But so people who are typically considered delusional are the people who have a different thought process than those who are considered normal. And it's usually outside of what's considered normal. So people on the spectrum could have a thought process, and it's okay because that kind of thinking, while excessive, is considered normal. Whereas a person who's delusional, the kind of thinking that they're having is not considered acceptable. So it's considered delusional. So, for instance, I'm not going to get on this subject too long, but so there's a mental health disorder called gender dysphoria. And you could say that somebody who suffers from gender dysphoria is delusional. But that doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're seeing and hearing voices. It doesn't mean that they're schizophrenic and they have multiple personality disorder and all this other stuff. Somebody who thinks they are the center of the universe and the most important person in the whole world, that's delusional because it goes against societal standards. The societal norm is that nobody is that important. Thoughts of extreme grandeur, thinking you're more important than you really are, that's delusional. Thinking that you're a cat or that you're a squirrel, that's delusional. Well, maybe you should be a boat salesman there, Cosmo. What's gender dysphoria? So we could look it up, but I'm just going to give a general description of what I understand it as, and we'll look it up here. I don't want to be on the subject too long. My understanding is that gender dysphoria is people who are born into one gender and do not feel like they are of that gender. So if you're born a boy and you have boy parts, but you think you're a girl, that's considered gender dysphoria. Feeling like you've been born into the wrong body or wrong gender. What's kind of offensive? Oh, a furry. I wouldn't consider that delusional either. People who like to dress up, you know, I don't necessarily think that they're delusional. I think that they have uncomfortabilities expressing themselves in a way that most other people don't have uncomfortabilities. In if we're talking about people who suffer from gender dysphoria, the way that it goes down in the books when the doctors write it down, you would be correct, precision. Then yes, those two types would go down in a doctor's notebook as gender dysphoric. Furries are a different thing. Dictionary, here we come. I didn't think you were furry either, but I that might be a new word to me. This theorin. It might be a new word to me. I don't stay up on the latest of the latest usually. I like research dives too, but only if I'm interested in learning a new thing. I don't learn new things because I'm interested in learning new things. I learn new things because I feel it's necessary for my brain to know this thing in order to continue. So if somebody's using a word, I'll be like, hmm. So for instance, the other day, somebody was in here, they called me Sigma. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I looked it up. Turns out Sigma is just a chill person, just a cool guy, just somebody who's chill and cool. In this country too, Aaron, gender dysphoria in this country is considered a mental health illness. And that's what Trump just did for sports recently. Trump just did that for sports. He made it so that your assigned gender at birth has to be the sport in the bathroom that you use. And they're finding out now that all that gender affirming care that they were giving out the against the permission of parents, it's quite damaging mentally to some of these kids. What I would say is try to be comfortable in your skin. Try to be comfortable in the skin that you were born in until you become 25. When you become 25, if you still feel uncomfortable in the skin that you're in, your brain is developed enough to make an informed decision. And that's why I say 25. The brain does not stop developing and growing until you reach the age of 25. So until then, you're not really able to make a informed decision on whether or not that's something you want to do. So I would tell people to wait until they're 25 and just put up with it. I know that can be tougher than it sounds. Good. You should love who you are. I love who I am too. People who have problems with other people usually has something based in fear. They're afraid for some reason of something they don't understand. If you're hearing that scratchy noise, that's Annie over there behind us. She must be dreaming. Oh, Letty with the big stretch. Yeah. Don't side eye me, Zuma. I'll put my foot in your face. Look, she's giving me like that. What the fuck? Was that the definition for cigarette? It didn't get held. Why? How come you keep saying it? You should be proud of who you are. Our differences is what makes us interesting. Yeah, well, I guess technically Aaron's right, but if you want to say that, then that's fine. Well, that just means that you're in a female with female relationship. That doesn't, as far as I can tell, that doesn't change your gender preference. But Aaron's correct in saying that one of them is exclusive to one gender, whereas the other one is not exclusive to either. Um, there are only two genders, as far as my opinion goes. So I don't really understand. I do buy different types of genders comment. I'll go by all different types. That's okay. You can go by they them. You just can't expect people to call you they them. See, at least. Yeah, to be by, it's at least two genders. Minimum. Yeah, I feel you on that, Aaron. My thoughts on this are that it's simple, and my thoughts on this are it's pretty blatant, and my thoughts on this are if I can explain it to my 5-year-old and he understands it, why doesn't anybody else? So that's that's where I'm gonna leave that subject. I think the world has spent too much time on a few individuals who wanted to make the best or the most out of the cards that they were dealt. Chad is not dead. Excuse me. I think it's just a subject that most people don't want to be a part of. Because it's a subject that a lot of people feel very strongly about. And unfortunately, because of the people who feel very, very strongly about it, it has become part of cancel culture. If you guys aren't familiar with that phrase, cancel culture is what's happening nowadays where everything gets banned. Every stupid little thing you say that somebody finds offensive gets banned. That's cancel culture. It doesn't even have to apply to the person who's complaining about the offensive nature. It just they just ban them. They delete it. YouTube's good on the cancel culture bullshit. They love deleting shit just because they feel like it. No, those don't exist in my head. Sorry, Precision. That right there, outside of two genders, is what I would call gender dysphoria. Cornhole? What's cornhole? What's up, Timothy? I've seen you in here before. Welcome back. Yeah, corn last time, cornhole this time. What's up? I got you a subscribe, Timothy. Thanks for chatting in the chat. What happened with what? The live repeated? Like the sound? That's weird. I didn't see any repeating, so maybe that was just on your end. Scroll up and then scroll back down. See if that fixes the chat bug. This is our 3-minute warning. I am going to be ending live at regular time today, but keep an eye out for my page because I am falling behind on making some shorts. So I'm going to do some content creation today. And you'll see some shorts. If you guys want me to use a particular song, just go to any of the shorts that I already have posted and comment what song. You have to go to one of my shorts and leave a comment. So if Cosmo wants to hear Armed and Dangerous by Juice WRLD on one of my shorts, Cosmo has to go to one of my shorts, any one of my shorts, and make a comment saying, please make a short using the song Armed and Dangerous by Juice WRLD. Something like that. I can, but you have to go to one of my shorts and comment that. I can, but you have to go to one of my shorts and comment that. So if that's your favorite song, and you'd like me to make a short using your favorite song, just go to my shorts section of my page, open up any one of the shorts that I've already made, and put a comment that you'd like to see that song used in a short. And I will do that. And I'll try to keep to this pattern where I do the short. I'll try to keep to the pattern where I do the short and then I give you a thumbs up and a heart on your comment. so that you know that the short is up with the song that you want. Because you'll get notified that I've liked your comment.
Lunch hour is officially over.
Lunch hour is officially over. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the time. We have to go today. We have things to do. And I will see your comments, and I will make the shorts with the songs that you want. Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful day. I enjoy you being here. I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. We have more fun when we're nice to each other. Let's be nice to each other today.